Hello, hello. Oh, turn my back immediately. Turn the camera on. Immediately turn my back on you. Oh boy, it's been a it's been a ride since last Tuesday. Um, uh, as I put in the title, we made affiliate last week. We made affiliate on Tuesday. Wednesday morning, they called me or they emailed me and said, "Hey, we want to make you an affiliate." Um, so we made it. We that I went much faster than I was expecting it to. But it's all thanks to support of viewers like you. Oh, sorry. Get some water. It's quite warm today, so I'm sipping on some water to try to cool off as we go. I was going to do a celebration right away on Thursday. Do like an impromptu, off the cuff, just wham, jump in there. I had some interesting things, some interesting ingredients that I wanted to use up. Um, and then I felt terrible. Uh, so I canned Thursday. I didn't announce that I was going to do anything to it. It was just going to be a surprise. So nobody was disappointed when it wasn't there, except for me. I was disappointed. Um, but then a friend of mine needed a ride to a faraway city, uh, and and it turned out we needed to leave at 4 a.m. on Friday. So I was wiped out, exhausted on Friday, and then I had insomnia that night, which means I was wiped out, exhausted on Saturday, which is why I wasn't here on Saturday. I gave a cancel. I tweeted about that one. I don't know that anyone reads my tweets, but if you're wondering where I'm not here, I'll try to post cancellations over there. Um, so it's been a week since the big news. My side panel is all sorts of new things. I've got emotes. I haven't had taken the time to draw up a full slate of emotes yet. I'll have to do that now. We're into a new week. Um, so at the moment, all I've got is my face, my little avatar, the smiling Jupiter. Yeah, Felix is here. Um, yes, Toby is also here. Um, yes, the we've only got two emotes because I just took my face, my avatar from the profile panel, and yes, ads are in fact enabled. They should be uh, running only when you come into the stream. Let me know if that's not how they are, and I'll see if I can tinker it out with. But you should only get an ad when you open up the stream panel, not consistently throughout. So uh, I think I got those settings right. But again, I'm all new to that. That was all back ending stuff I was setting up. So I'm not I'm not sure. Of course, I never see ads because it's my channel. But so I've only got the two emotes. Uh, Felix, you have a little crown. Prime Gaming. Oh yeah, we're open for subscriptions now. And if you weren't aware, and I wasn't aware, um, if you have Amazon Prime, you can link that to your Twitch account, and it gives you a free sub that you can use to subscribe to any channel of your choice on Twitch. You are fancy. You've got a little crown. They've got the little Prime Gaming crown. Um, so yeah, I'm officially a shill uh, for Twitch. I don't have any alerts set up. I don't have any of those things. I haven't figured out any of that stuff yet. Um, so although I'm having my celebration right now, I'm just gonna have to watch chat and verbalize all the excitement because there's not going to be things popping up on the screen when people subscribe or bits or whatever. But yeah, so oh my god, literally my first sub ever. Felix, thank you for subbing. You are my first sub ever. You've got a special founder's badge. I really appreciate it. Uh, uh, and you'll have that founder's badge until you do something that makes me ban you. Um, First couple of people get those as a special thank you for being among the first. So thank you. Um, I hope, some exciting things today. I've got some experiments. Tell you what I've actually got is I'm leaving town tomorrow to go visit my parents, and I've got some ingredients that I absolutely must use up because they will be bad by the time I get back. So I'm going to use all of those up. Um, so we've got some experimental things. We've got some tasty things. Um, I've got a big old mushroom that was a gift that I'm going to be chopping up and using as much as I can. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna put my little pre-show sign away here. There's one element I do need to get started on right away because it's going to take the longest because it has to attempt to freeze. So it's also the most experimental of all my things. So let's get back over to the countertop. This is, and I'm going to take this off the camera and peek. Still good. Okay, that's still good, but I have to use it up. This is a tiny can of coconut milk, and it's very solid. But it's only because it's chilled. As soon as it warms up, it goes back to liquid. Um, and heavy whipping cream, and we're going to need some sugar. I'm going to attempt to make a quick ice cream. Uh, as our first item of the day. And I don't really have a measuring for it. Okay, gentlemen are going to move. Zizan, welcome in, welcome in. Oh my God, look, we've got so many people. Bookwoman's here too. Wow, it's exciting. Um, Exciting stuff. We just had our first sub. Felix is my very first sub. Subbed with Amazon Prime. You're here too. Oh my God, everyone. Yes, there will be ads on the entry, but you know, if you sub, it goes away. And as I mentioned, I had a tumultuous week and weekend, so um, I wasn't really uh, able to set everything up. So we don't have the bot with like little automated song and dance sparklies and things. Um, so I'm just watching the chat, and I will verbally become excited whenever something happens. Um, oh my God, my very first bits. Oh my God, a hype train. That would be quite the thing. Get a hype train on my first. Uh, oh my God, we got a hype train. On my very first affiliated stream. Where's my big whisk? Um, I gotta I gotta whip this. Oh my God, 69%. Oh my God, everything's coming up perfect. You guys are too much. Okay. I do need to actually get started on this. I want to see how much I've got. Just about a cup, so that's good. I intend to use this up. Oh, I'll have to talk with you guys and think about. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for more bits. I have to talk with you guys and think about things that I can do to set up for when people do bits, little alerts and such. I only have one really interesting idea, and I admit that I have stolen it wholesale from another streamer. It just oh, sometimes you get gift bits from Twitch itself for things. At least I've heard of that happening. I've never actually had it happen to myself, but I've heard of that happening. Probably should do this with the powered mixer. Uh, but so here's the one idea I have. The one bit idea. Barry Kramer, you may know Barry Kramer. He streams here on Twitch, formerly of Game Grumps, one of the crew. Um, he has a bit alert for 64 bits, and it's just the sound. It's the first part of the intro for Super Smash Brothers. It just says soup. It's amazing, and I want to steal that. Oh, you got an? Is that a second ad, or was that just your first ad? Because if you're getting additional ads, I might have. Okay. Maybe I'll have to hold on. I was futzing around with it, and I'm wondering if I may have put it on the wrong mode, or if it defaulted or something. I don't want, because that sounds like it's too frequent. Because we've only been on for 15 minutes ish, 20 minutes ish. No. I want this to actually be, because if it happened that quickly, it's going to happen again that quickly. I got to figure out. Oh, okay. Let's switch to that. I hope this works while I'm running. What? No, Twitch, wrong. What? What? Well, well, here, let me know if it keeps going. Oh my God. Oh my God. While I was out, a bunch of stuff happened. Um, Thank you for gifting us up to Toby. I think the way it's set right now is that it will wait 15 minutes. It should wait 15 minutes after you. Hold on. Well, okay. Now, okay. Yeah. Again, I haven't done this before, so I'm still learning. Um, it should now not give you an ad when it starts. I got to figure out how to fix that. Um, so I was looking at the settings. What it's set to do is to give you an ad, if you're not subbed, give you an ad 15 minutes after you start watching me, and then every hour after that, which should be, that way it gives new people a chance to check it out before they get their first ad, but then they're not getting inundated with ads um, as it goes. I thought I had left it on pre-roll ads only, but I actually couldn't figure out how to do that. So I'll have to work on that for the back end for the next one. So at the moment, I think I've got it sorted out. Thank you for your patience. Our whipped cream is almost whipped cream. Uh, I distracted myself. Got off the thing. Missed a sub. Uh, uh, I'm I'm the worst. This might be our last stream. I'm gonna pull the plug after this. Um, but no, really, thank you so much. I can't believe I got a hype train on my first ever show. Oh, okay, that's pretty well whipped together. Now, as I said, this one is pretty much fully experimental. Um, the no churn ice cream recipe is sweetened condensed milk and whipped cream. And the sweetened condensed milk prevents the whipped cream from crystallizing as it freezes. Now, coconut milk is not sweetened condensed milk, and it does not have the same properties. But it is a thick liquid. I'm going to throw a bunch of sugar in it oh, there's the end of the hype train. People are getting, looks like one little cat from the hype train emotes. Amazing. I didn't know that the streamer also received the hype train emotes when a hype train happens. I've never been on the receiving end. Amazing. I got a little cat. Yeah, that one. Now that's a hype train emote, so you can use that anywhere on Twitch, not just here. I also need to come up with ideas for emotes. I want a little guy going nom 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 because I do food, and I probably want a little guy going ew gross because I do food. Um, And I also need to be simple enough that I can do them myself. Because we're starting out, and I don't really want to. Sorry, I did that entirely off camera. I just stirred the sugar in here, so this is now sweetened coconut milk. I could do space theme stuff. I wasn't actually intending for a space theme. I picked the name without considering what would happen if I turned into an actual like streaming channel. I need a tiny whisk. Yes. The flashing rave face planet was really temporary. What I'd like to do is make a GIF of a tiny whisk whisking. That may be down the line as things progress. Who knows? If all this goes well enough, I may be able to hire an actual artist to actually art. So we're following the recipe here that I do for no churn ice cream. You could wear the chef's hat. Could do. Got plenty of time to brainstorm about that. Obviously can't make new emotes while I'm here live. But something to think about, and I'm open to ideas. So this is the no churn ice cream recipe. It's normally it's 2 cups of whipped cream, or it's a cup of cream whipped into 2 cups of whipped cream, and then combined with 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. Or is it 2 cups? I'd have to remember. It's approximately what I did here, except I kind of eyeballed this because I just had whatever cream I had left and whatever coconut milk I had left. And I've never done this with coconut milk, and that's the experiment. It's got a good consistency, nice and creamy, soft, sweet, coconutty. I do have a trick to speed things up. I'm going to put it in a metal container that is long and narrow. For heat transfer and surface area, which will help it freeze faster. Since I would like to use it today, and the non-coconut version is supposed to take 4 hours to freeze up. So I guess we're going to check on this with the dessert item, because this is going to go with the dessert of my dinner. As always, dessert has to start first. Pardon me while I lick off the spatula of this delicious, delicious concoction. It's surprisingly coconutty. I suppose it's not surprisingly, because I just put a bunch of coconut in there. But it's quite coconutty. The coconut comes through. This will be a fun experiment, because if this works, coconut milk, I think, is easier to work with and portion out than sweetened condensed milk, and it has quite a bit less sugar in it. But I've never done this experiment. Usually, when you look for like alternate recipes for something like this, the alternate recipe will want to be, I'm going to push the plastic wrap right down onto the surface. to prevent it drying out. Once it's frozen, it'll be easy to peel off as well, so that's fine. When you look up a recipe for something like this, and you look for coconut milk, you find just like non-dairy recipes, but that's not what I'm looking for. The dairy is fine. My freezer is very full too. So that's kind of wedged in there. So we'll come back to that at the end. Hopefully it will have frozen by the time we get to it, or at least frozen enough to work with. Part 2. The part 2 is not in the freezer. I took part 2 out of the freezer. Actually, no, that's part 3 because that's the quick one. Part 2. Rice. Large pot. And this we have to measure out. Because part 2, we're making a 3 mushroom risotto. And let me show you the 3 mushrooms. Number 1, I have some dried shiitakes that I'm going to rehydrate and then use the hydration water in the risotto as well as a mushroom stock. Part 2, we've got some plain old white buttons. Part 3, which should be the exciting bit, but I haven't actually looked at it since I put it in here. It's deflated a little bit. Jen! Yay for affiliate! I'm just showing up. We just went through the first part, which was there's a coconut ice cream in the freezer. Jen, you subbed! Amazing. Thank you so much. Ooh, okay, this guy's he's deflated a little bit since he went in there, but this is a homegrown, massive oyster mushroom cluster. From a friend of mine. And I wanted to save it for the show. And since I canceled a couple of shows, it's kind of sat there and gotten a little deflated. It is a very big shroom. It's trying to grow back a little bit. The stump end has grown a little bit of mushroom fuzz as it tries to like. Yes, from the compost guy. He told me to say the name of his. So this is prop that to the side so it doesn't fall over. Told me to say the name of his thing. It's Friendly Fox Farms, something along those. I should have looked it up, or I should have double checked. He told me a week ago, and I thought it'd be like Fox Familiars Farms. I knew one of you would know. He told me a week ago, and it was going to be like, I'll just remember that because it's just going to be the next day. But then life intervened, and I didn't get around to it until today. So we've got 3 mushrooms, homegrown oyster, some dried shiitake for some nice strong flavor, and I've got some white buttons that are there. They also exist. So step 1, though, I need to rehydrate these guys. I love chicken of the woods. I see you guys talking about chicken of the woods. Chicken of the woods and hen of the woods are quite different from each other, despite the similar names. Probably don't need all of these. Save 5 for the next thing. So these need to rehydrate because these are dried shiitakes. So that's the first thing, and I'm going to need the small pot. It's a bit sad that I had to wait so long before I could get to do this mushroom on the stream, because when he gave it to me, it was glorious. It was just, I mean, it's just as big as it is now, but it was like freshly picked that day. It was so perfect. And I want to feature it strongly, so it's going to be a primary component here. Sorry, I'm concentrating a little bit. Does he have a social? I didn't ask. I will defer to friends in chat. Yeah, there you go. Friends in chat who have followed up on that a bit more closely. I again have had a very tumultuous time since last Tuesday, and many things I had wanted to do didn't happen. You guys can't even see what I'm doing. Pre-roll ads are disabled for 21 minutes. Why did that pop up? Clearly, I got the ad settings wrong as well. So experimentation there. So these are dried shiitake mushrooms. These are super easy to use. You just boil them until they go soft, and then they're just like using fresh mushrooms. But they have I think they have a stronger, like rich mushroomy flavor. We're going to switch them to the back burner. And the front one is going to be a fryer. Second ad just popped. It did just pop up and say, pre-roll ads are, but that's not what I wanted it to. Oh my god. That's much too often. That's much too often. Okay, first of all, that needed to be turned on. Now that we have a brief moment where the mushrooms are just heating up, I can go back and look at some of these things. Why is this? I'm gonna have to do some reading, I think, about all of this, because some of these settings don't most of these settings have not even a full sentence describing what they do. So I've adjusted some stuff. Um, I've adjusted some stuff. I think I've got it so that subs don't see ads, and because subs shouldn't see ads, that's the whole point of subbing. Apparently, there's a setting in there that lets you show ads to subs, and it's enabled by default, and I didn't know that either. That seems like a bad way to default that. Um, it's a yeah. I'm not surprised. It's Twitch. Please keep me updated as the ads happen, because I don't see them at all. I did get a notification that it was disabling pre-roll ads for 21 minutes, which I assume was the moment when you guys all saw an ad. We'll futz with that, and I'll get it to a nice, happy setting where it does all the things that I'm expecting it to, and then I can convey that accurately. I'm melting some butter in this pan over low heat. We've got the mushrooms going over there, softening up. A lot of things that Twitch does are kind of poopy. At least they give us some tools to counteract them. I don't know why. It shouldn't have been running an ad every 15 minutes, which it looks like it was trying to do, which is just wrong. That's way too many ads. You'll miss stuff. We may come down to a point where I plan out ad breaks so that nobody misses anything. I just don't want to be surprised by them. That's where it gets you. Anyways, risotto. We're making a risotto here. By the way, so this is an Italian dish of slowly cooked rice that becomes like creamy, but creamy almost entirely from the starches from the rice dissolving into an amount of water. We're using 5 cups of water, which is going to be flavored with mushroom. I'm double dutying the mushroom cooking water as also flavoring water for the risotto. Since I don't actually have a mushroom stock on hand. Risotto is not as hard as people think. You can cheat it. I think Gordon Ramsay is full of himself. Personal opinion. He's a skilled chef. He's not the 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 world expert in all things food that he portrays himself as. And yeah, basically you just need to stir it. But really, the secret, here's the real secret. I'm going to stir this one. Turn that down so it doesn't boil over. I want to preserve all that stuff that's forming on the top. That's going to need a little bit of salt anyways, because it's supposed to be a stock. The real secret to risotto is that you don't need to baby it. Chemical! Welcome in! You're probably getting a... No, you're not, because it's a raid. Raids don't have ads. I'm learning these things. Welcome in, Chemical. Welcome to the party. I'm telling people just now about how you can do risotto the easy way. Ramsey's kind of full of himself. Yeah. I think Ramsey's kind of full of himself. The easy way to do risotto, we're not doing it that way, but the easy way to do risotto at home is to take all of the, because it's 5 cups of liquid to 1 cup of rice, just take your 1 cup of rice and your 5 cups of liquid and chuck them in a pan all at the same time and turn on the heat. And then when all the liquid's absorbed, you're done. That's it. Stir it sometimes. Like to do kitchen quality, professional type risotto, yeah, you got to sit there and baby it. But when you're making it at home, you don't need to sit there and baby it. It'll be fine. Okay. Like there'll be some individual grains in there that are a little bit chewy, but it's okay if they're a little bit chewy. Uh, they won't like that's one of those things that's just when you're cooking at home, these are boiling hot. Literally. Uh, when you're cooking at home, things don't need to come out perfectly. And a lot of those formal techniques are for things to come out perfectly. They taste just fine if they don't come out perfectly. Whew. Okay. Cut that one up. But really, I need to just separate these and let them cool off a little bit because they are too hot to handle. Well, a lot of people, you say duh, but a lot of people are obsessed with, like, they see their favorite food personality making something. Um, oh, there, that's Chemical's raid message. It didn't work last time. Chemical was commenting last time that his raid message didn't pop up. It's a nice one. It uses, what's that green thing in the middle? Brain slug. Huh. Well, I haven't really sunk my teeth in on Firebot yet. I've got it. I'm gonna have to use it to set up so I can get like alerts and stuff. Um, okay, we're just gonna throw these in. These are my mushrooms. That's a little bit too hot. But yeah, I'm doing the mushrooms here first because they will develop flavor in the butter, soak up some of the butter. Uh, and then we can construct the risotto right on top of them. Use a bigger knife for this. I'm using my sharpest knife for this because I'm afraid that the shiitakes might be just a little bit too rubbery in this boiled phase. Oh God, that reminds me. I need to come up with a actual raid message because I've got my own emotes. I could concoct something. Anyways, latecomers are going to be excited and surprised when they see the mystery coconut ice cream. We'll all be excited and surprised to see if it even works. it may not have worked at all. Yes, all the mushrooms are going in that pan. Eventually. Uh, sort of. I part of today's project is that I'm using up leftover ingredients because I'm heading out of town tomorrow. My next show is actually going to be remote from another kitchen, if we can get it working. And one of the ingredients I had to use up was part of a bottle of heavy whipping cream, and another one I had to use up was part of a can of coconut milk. So we experimented them together to see if they would, in fact, turn into ice cream if I treated them like I do with all dairy ice cream. Of course, we bring Tiny Whisk. I need a spatula. So I'm going to have more mushrooms than I can put into this risotto. That's for sure. There's no question about that. Um, get you guys over to the countertop. I'm just going to break some of these guys. See, they sat in my fridge a little bit, waiting for me to get to them. So they've curled up a little bit. They've wilted just a little bit. They'll still taste the same. And when you cook them, they shrivel up anyway. So this isn't a factor. It's just that they're not quite as pretty as they were when I got them. The extra mushrooms can definitely ride along. I'll just stick them in a paper bag with a damp towel, and they can come with. Mushrooms keep pretty well overall. Ones from the grocery store will go off. That's because they've already been keeping pretty well for however long it took them to get there. Pick your own. They hold up pretty well. These are oyster mushrooms too, which are a different texture. A lot of people tell me when I talk about mushrooms that they don't like mushrooms, and then when I ask them what kinds of mushrooms they've had, they will invariably say, "Oh, this kind." Take care of yourself, Chemical. Thanks for the raid. Always thanks for the raid, and always take care of yourself. We'll raid you back next time the timings line up. What are they talking about? Talking about mushrooms. People will try these boring little button mushrooms, and then they'll say, "Oh, they don't taste like anything, and they've got a weird rubbery texture. I don't like mushrooms." Well, every mushroom is different. That would be like eating a piece of chicken and saying, "Well, I don't like animal meat." They're all different. That's a good amount of oyster mushrooms. We'll see how much they cook down into as they cook. Here's the question. Do I want to throw in any of the button mushrooms? We're going to very mushroomy on this. I intend to go very mushroomy on this. But Do I want buttons or more oysters? I have options. I know they cook down lots. I just want to eyeball how much before I keep hacking off, because once I've got them cut, they well, some mushrooms are flavor sponges. These button ones for sure, they have almost no flavor. They soak up flavors around them. Shiitake mushrooms are bursts of their own rich, savory flavor. You can make like a soup stock just out of shiitake mushrooms. Um, I saw a vote for throw in a couple of buttons. I encourage anyone to, if you're inspired by my cooking, jump in, do your own cooking as well. At the same time, later, share photos. I don't have a Discord for photos at the moment. I haven't set up my own. That would probably be a wise idea to amplify my brand. But you guys see my photos in other people's Discords, and of course, I post on Twitter. If you do happen to post food photos in any of those places, first of all, if you post them on any of the Discords I'm in, I'll see them. I check the food channels on all the Discords pretty much every day. If you post them on Twitter, give me an @ and I'll take a peek. These are some big button mushrooms. This is just one button, and it's massive. Oyster mushrooms are delicious. They're one of my favorites. They've got a good flavor, not a very strong flavor, but like a nice flavor. My favorite kind of mushroom. I've tried a lot. I've tried quite a few kinds of mushrooms. I would say that my favorite mushroom is morel, which is probably a cliche because they are quite popular overall. But I think they just have such a unique flavor, even in the realm of mushrooms. Supposedly they grow around here somewhere, and you can get them out in the woods, but I've never been lucky enough. And the secrets as to where specifically they occur in the woods are carefully guarded by the people who pick them. You can get them in the grocery store sometimes, but I would recommend against that because they are extremely expensive when you get them that way. You want to get them at like a farmer's market where they've got local forage, because then they're just going out in the woods and grabbing them. Because you can't farm morels, you can only pick them. They don't grow properly in a farmed place. If anyone figures out how to do that, you make a fortune, because you'll patent the process and sell them at the same price they're going for now, or undercut the foragers just a little bit. But lots of I've got the camera on the wrong direction because now all of our work is over here. Okay. I think our mushroom medley. Could use a little bit more oyster. They did shrink up quite a lot. So take a couple more of these guys off. Not a ton more, but a couple more. Mince them up, chuck them in. Otherwise, we're ready to throw the rice in. This is something I would not skip when making a risotto, is you want to toast the rice a little bit before you start putting liquid in it. It helps the flavor. Um, I've never done mushroom picking myself. I'm always afraid of trying it because there are so many inedible ones out there, and they look a lot like the good ones. If you're not certain which one you've got, I wouldn't eat it. Um, I would love the training though, like be able to just recognize them and pick them. That'd be neat, especially these days when any source of tasty food that doesn't cost an arm and a leg is highly prized. I would never go out with like a book guide. I would always I would want to go out with an actual person as a guide who themselves knew everything well enough. Okay, dry rice, unwashed, directly into pot. We're using sushi rice here instead of arborio. The traditional rice is arborio, but arborio can be a little bit pricey. It's a bit of a specialty rice. There are some inexpensive brands of sushi rice if you pick around, and sushi rice is basically the same thing. It's a sticky, starchy, short-grained rice. It behaves basically the same. Plus, you can also make sushi out of it. Um, so they're popping a little bit. They're not actually popping; they're jumping as I push them around vigorously. Um, Heating them will help the flavor. It'll also help prime the starches by warming them before we start adding liquid. We don't want a full toast on this. I could also throw a shallot in there since I have one, and I should probably use it up. I'm gonna do that real quick. Again, uh, as much as this is in fact a excited celebration of making a milestone, it's also an excuse for me to use up a whole bunch of things I've got knocking around that are going to go off if I don't get to them. Um, and hope you can't quite see it because I'm on the wrong side. But if you look at this shallot, it's green in the middle because it's trying to sprout. So, so we're just gonna head that guy off and chuck him in. A shallot is a traditional thing. I probably should have just thrown this in first, but I didn't think of it until just now. Um, but starting the pan with a shallot is quite the traditional Italian thing. Gets those shalloty flavors all mingled in with the little bit of oil that's in there right from the start. Um, so throw that in there, push it around long enough to get them kind of starting to sizzle. The rice has picked up all of the residual butter, so I might just have the shallot boil with the liquid as I add it. Shalloty, delicious shalloty flavors. We've got a lot of flavor in here because this is a pretty mild broth of mushroom. Normally, you'd want to use a stock, like a concentrate stock. But again, I'm using stuff. I didn't want to buy a container of stock for this. This pan is too hot. Uh, okay. The goal here, I'm actually not going to use that scooper. I'm just going to do it this way. The goal here is to add that liquid to this rice a bit at a time and stir it around until it absorbs each time. And keep doing that until all of the liquid has been absorbed into the rice. There will be leftovers of this for sure. I'll just pack those up and take them with me. I do have a fourth mushroom I could add to this, but I'm a little bit leery of it. But we could make a 4 mushroom risotto because I have this little bottle of black truffle oil, and it's not black truffle flavored because it's got pieces in it. It's actually, well, it means flavored by having black truffles soaked in oil. But this stuff is very strong. Um, this little bottle cost me $12, and I've used that much of it. And every time I use a tiny drop of it, it's like, wow, I added too much. This stuff is punchy strong. So the $12 is actually going a long way. Um, so I'm a little bit leery of it. I don't dislike the flavor, but I don't want it to overpower. So maybe just a drop toward the end. I don't want the flavor to burn off. Not adding it now. I've had that little bottle for a while. I bought it on a whim, and I only use a teeny tiny bit at a time, which is good because it was kind of expensive. Well, I forgot to switch the camera back over here. Well, I don't think I can send this stuff around super easily. It can overpower the other mushroom flavors. Truffle is a very potent flavor. It's funky. It's not. It's got a lot of sort of that funkiness to it, like ripe cheese funk or aged meat funk. Uh, and that element of it can cut through even all the other stuff I've thrown into this. As you can see, when I push the stuff aside, it stays, which means our liquid has been absorbed, and it is time to add more. This burner's on just real low, just to keep this warm. I should probably keep it even lower because it's steaming a little bit. Just to keep it warm so that it doesn't have to come up to temp as I add it to the larger pan. Uh, so I'm not really babying the risotto, but I'm not ignoring it. I'm not doing something else at the same time and losing track of it. Um, my farmer's market. There's a mushroom person that comes to my farmer's market, but the town rules say that you can't sell forage at the farmer's market. So he only sells buttons and oysters and shiitakes and like the things you can get anywhere. Um, and then he hands out little business cards that say, "Hey, I've foraged all this other interesting stuff that I can't farm. Uh, Come find me and buy it." But it's just so annoying that you can't just get it at the farmer's market. Um, he even has like display pieces, like a puffball and a hen of the woods, and you know, goodies that I would love to buy off of him, but The city said, no, you can't forage. That's a problem for some reason. Hmm. You know what I forgot to add, and I'm going to have to do it now? I'm going to have to do it now because it has to cook off a bit. You're supposed to put some white wine in here, and I've got some white wine, but it can't just be added at the end because it needs to cook off the liquid or the alcohol enough. So the next time this down to no, or comes down to adding more liquid, I'm going to add a dose of wine to it instead of going right for the broth. We're using Kendall Jackson Avant Low-Cal Chardonnay today because it was $7 for the bottle on sale. Uh, yes, you should ask at your farmer's market if your mushroom person has any special things that are hidden away because of rules. I know the next town over in two directions both have farmers markets that don't have that rule, and I've gotten a lion's mane and some other fun one from other nearby farmers markets. So it's not a universal thing for sure, but it is in my town and it's annoying. Uh, Good thing about risotto is once it's done, it holds pretty well. So it's going to sit on the back burner while we work on our main event. It's actually a pretty nice wine. I'm considering. I picked it up because it was in the bargain bin. Um, White wine. I picked it up because it was in the bargain bin, and I'm a bargain hunter in the food space. But I'm not disappointed in it. It's near as I can tell, they de-sugared the grape juice before they turn it into wine, so that there's less sugars in it at the end. Low-cal wine, and the effect is that it is especially dry, which is great for a cooking wine. I always look for a dry white when I'm cooking. Um, so it's a Chardonnay, but it's an especially dry Chardonnay. So I might actually pick it up again since I got it in the bargain bin. I wasn't hunting for it, but I might actually go look for it specifically when I finish this bottle. And quite affordable. Um, oh, well, that's a good in. I don't know a ton about wine, so I can't usually give recommendations. Just happen to have this one specifically because of circumstance. Uh, um, we're halfway through the risotto. I'm going to check on one of my ingredients here for the next bit. It's still a little bit frozen, so I'm going to get it out of its package and start thawing. Because we're having shrimps. 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 Uh, they're pretty icy, actually. Probably should have gotten these out. We're gonna have to soak them in some water for sure. Because the risotto, as delicious as it is, I'm treating it as a side dish, and the main course, shrimps. Now, shrimp has gotten very expensive recently. It has gone up much quicker than the average of everything else, even accounting for inflation. So I'm saving shrimp for special occasions, and this is one I've had since before the massive price spike that's just been in my freezer. And I've got one more thing in there as well. But shrimp has become more of a special occasion thing because the price has jumped so much. Today's a special occasion, though, so shrimp. They're not thawed. They're clearly very icy. You can't see them because I'm on the wrong angle. They're very icy. So the quick fix for that is to run some cold water in the bowl and just wait for them to thaw. By the time we get to them, they should be fully thawed out, since we're not getting to them until after the risotto over here, which is getting to the phase where I can just push it to the side and it stays again. I can smell the wine still. That's okay. Risotto is one of those things where you just kind of have to trust that it's working, because it sure seems like you're just making rice porridge when you're partway through. But at the end, it should, if you've done it, even if you've done a cheat version, the dissolved starches should form this nice sort of silky, creamy sauce. Oh. Frozen seafood is, I live far from an ocean, so if I want any ocean seafood, it's got to be frozen. Um, uh, well, I mean, I get stuff that's not frozen, but almost everything that I get has been frozen, so I may as well buy it frozen because then I can just stick it in my freezer and it'll keep. Because we're so far from the oceans. The only things we get around here are catfish and some trout and like little panfish and stuff. Perch, although, yeah, there you go. We said it at the same time. Uh, Lake perch is a big one. But my favorite seafoods, most of my favorite seafoods are ocean fish. Uh, I found some goodies, though. I'm gonna show this one off. They're gonna wait in my freezer for a rainy day or a different celebration. But since the risotto is bubbling, I'll have a chance to show this guy off. He's a little bit frosty on the outside. In fact, he's vacuum packed. Ace and Coho sashimi quality salmon. Nice thick piece. We played with this one time before, and I was worried I would never see it again. And then they got it back, and I grabbed 3 of them. So the joy of the sashimi quality one is that I can cook it if I want, but I could also do like barely touch the pan sear and have it still right raw in the middle. I can make sushi. I could do a cure on it with salt and sugar and herbs and like I don't have to worry about cooking it through because it's already been checked over and is a-okay. So there's a couple of those in my freezer. Oop, I almost walked over and started cooking without you guys. There's a couple of those in my freezer for a rainy day. And they're in the vacuum shrink wrap, so they'll also keep quite well. Not forever, but if you're ever buying meat items any kind of meat items for storage, get them in those shrink wrap vacuum packages, or if you've got your own like vacuum packer, do that to it, and they will keep a lot longer in your freezer. Um, Putting that on my Christmas list this year. A vacuum packer device machine. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, my idea for the celebration here is I didn't want a big slab of meat because I've done that for my birthday. For example, I had a celebration for my birthday, and and I made surf and surf, and it was two big hunks of meat. Um, I wanted something a bit more accessible today, and we had the mushroom, and I wanted to make this big mushroom a main event item. So mushroom risotto. I I might do a quick like side medley. I've got a tomato here as well that I'm not sure what to do with. I wanted to also use this up. I might just end up having it as a snack. Slice it up with some salt on it. Um, that's another ingredient I've got that I wanted to use up, and I don't have an idea for it. And I've already got 3 things planned, so it may end up being my breakfast tomorrow, unless somebody's got a good idea. Uh, our risotto has reached the phase of I can push it aside and it doesn't fill in the space right away. Once again, I need. It'd be nice if I had really, I want the chat screen to be not here, but like here. But there's not a thing here that I could attach it to. Um, it'll definitely go bad. It's already got a soft spot. Um, Not like a rotten spot, just like it was leaning. It's very, very ripe. Um, it's a nice looking tomato. So you may notice I'm not just sticking this in the middle and stirring. I'm scraping around the edges and digging to the bottom and then lifting. And the idea here is that the solids and the liquids in this pot are going to try to they're going to gradually try to separate, and the things at different heights within the pot are going to cook slightly differently. So by digging deep and sort of lifting the bottom, and also scraping down the sides so stuff doesn't stick there, although this is a non-stick, so I'm not worried about stuff sticking. But it helps the rice cook more evenly and not have part of it settle out from the liquid. Uh, and you can just leave the spatula in there. People make automatic stirring machines, and risotto is always the test of because you're supposed to stir it constantly, and you don't have to stir it constantly, but you're supposed to stir it constantly. So whenever somebody makes an automatic stirring device, they want to make risotto with it right away. Uh, those aren't going to fit unless I take them out of their plastic, which is fine. These are really big button mushrooms. Why are these so big? They're huge. Not complaining. I'm kind of complaining. They're so big. Gosh. I got this new thing at the bottom. I keep looking over at my panel because now I've got all these things on my panel, like run an ad break or poll the audience. And down at the bottom here, I've got channel points. Oh my God. Thinking about channel points. We are reaching the phase when I need to pay a bit more attention to this because it's getting a bit thick and deep, so it has more of a chance of the bottom crusting and the top undercooking. When you start out is the least delicate part because the volume of the rice isn't quite so large, so it's soaked up all that liquid yet. Uh, I keep track of my time too. We're already an hour and a half. Well, whatever. This is by far the most time-consuming part of today's things. I think we're ready for the last dose of the liquid. And then see, I want this out of the way, but it's still hot, so bring the shrimpies over to the main board there. And now it's just a matter of stirring this, and I'm going to actually continually stir this at the end here because we are in that last phase. Stir this until it is the correct thickness, which is basically like a heavy porridge. And then we'll put it on the back burner there, and I will move on to prepping the shrimp and the mango because we're doing mango shrimp for our main event. Probably should taste this too before it's completely done. See if it needs anything. Always taste your food as you go. That's an important thing people, especially me, don't do. Okay. It's actually fairly mild. Probably because I didn't use a full stock for it. So I'm going to give it a good dose of salt. And a good dose of black pepper. You're supposed to use white pepper in risotto so that the little black specks don't mar the appearance. But I don't care about that. Uh, uh, we're coming right down to the end of it. I am going to make this a 4 mushroom. Just now, with just a, oop, probably too much. Just a tiny dash um, of the truffle oil, which hopefully doesn't overpower. I put in a little bit more than I was expecting. Uh, we'll give it a taste once it's had a chance to kind of incorporate. I should have poured that into a separate container, like a little bowl, so that I could be sure I didn't spill any. Uh, the rice itself is a good consistency, nice, soft, but still nice individual grains. Okay, well, that little amount of truffle oil does definitely come through, but it's not overpowering. So I think we got away with it. It needs just a pinch more salt. Again, because I didn't use a stock to begin with, I just used that mushroom cooking water. We don't have the dimension that a stock would have brought. I may have added a pinch too much black pepper as well. Uh, I do love my black pepper. But if I lean it up and you can see the bottom quite easily as I drag it through, the rice is done to the consistency. The goal here is that the grains, each individual grain, is still an individual grain of rice uh, that you can feel in your mouth as you eat it, and you can also see in the risotto. But they're also at the same time tender right through to the middle, and the sauce around them has developed this creamy, silky consistency from the dissolved starches. If you go too far, the individual grains get lost as they sort of dissolve into the starch. If you don't go far enough, the sauce isn't thick and rich and silky, even if the individual rice grains are cooked through. And I think we have gotten right where I want it to be. So I'm going to turn it off, take it off the heat, right to the back burner, and I'm going to put a lid on it. Crash. Is that the right lid? That's not the right lid. I'm going to put a lid on it. That's it, the lid. To keep it warm, even though that back burner is not on. It's got a lot of mass, so it should hold up quite well. We're coming back over to the countertop, where we've got two things to peel. We've got a mango, and I am bad at these. Here we got another adventure. How to skin a mango. I'm open to suggestions for skinning a mango, for getting the flesh out of it. I know there's a big weird shaped seed right in the middle. It's about that long, about that wide, about that thick. I don't know that anyone knows how to cleanly cut a mango. another reason I got to use these up is the bananas. Here are the bananas, by the way. Oop, it opened itself. The bananas, they are so ripe that this one just opened itself as I was picking it up. Uh, they're attracting little tiny flies. I guess I'm just gonna get at it, right? And then you take a spoon with a kind of a narrow edge and you get in between the flesh and the skin. Kind of like you do with a kiwi. And in theory, nice big piece of mango. And that worked. And then I got this mango cup. That worked pretty well. That worked much better than I had feared. Of course, now my hands are all slippery with mango juice. So, will part two be as easy? It just might. Uh, part two came off almost the same way. It it really wants to hold onto the skin. This is not like a kiwi or an avocado where once you get in between the flesh and the skin, it just kind of comes off. This guy wants to stay. But very slippery as well. There's a few little fibers right in the middle that I think came off of the seed husk. I don't know if I have to get those out or not. They're hmm, probably not. I'm going to cut through them this way, so they should be fine when I actually get down to the eating part. Again, that was a perfect mango cut. And then we've got the remainder piece, which you just got to find the edges of the seed. You're watching me learn how to get the flesh off a mango in real time. Uh, and in the middle of this thing is a big old crazy seed, and now it's really slippery too. Uh, and then I suppose you can just shave bits of this off and snack on them. Mm. Mango's so good. Wish they grew around here. I wish I didn't live in the frozen north. I could have a mango tree. Mm. Anyway, I can't snack on mango. That's not the goal of today. Um, the goal of today is to. Oh, okay. Using the knife actually was harder than using the spoon because it cuts the skin instead of getting in between it. Okay, this was not as much a disaster as I had feared. The last time I opened up a mango, I mean, I got mango out of it, but I made a mess. It was edible, but it was not pretty. Um, this one is, frankly, pretty. It came out quite well. I'm going to set the pieces aside for the moment because I want to make little skewers with them with the shrimps. Or I suppose I could do a. What do you think? We will. Hey, I know. We'll take this chance to do my very first ever poll. Bam! I've got a poll. Whoa! That took me to a new panel. If you're watching, vote in that poll, and we'll make the shrimp. Keeping in mind, there's not going to be other ingredients. It's going to be shrimp and mango because the other ingredient is the risotto. And I'll get out some of the seasonings I plan on using. I've got Old Bay, but I've also got a Cajun blend, as well as things like smoked paprika, chipotle pepper. You could break the tie. I can't vote. You. Okay, well, we have a tie down the middle. So, skewers it is. That was my original idea. We're doing skewers. Where's my large pan? A large pan was washed today, so it's over here in the washed section. I am able to vote, but I shouldn't vote. I'm asking the question. It wasn't that I couldn't vote, it's that I'm not allowed to vote. Let's see if these are... Okay, we're going to have to take the ends off of these skewers. No. The skewers are slightly too long for that pan. But before we do anything with the skewers or the pan, I need to peel the shrimps. Oh, I've had those not good vodkas. A lot of those... Vodka is something that a new distillery will produce when they're getting up and running, just so they have something to bring income in while they're setting up for all of the things that take longer. So you'll get a lot of short-run bad vodka. You'll also get things like gin, and recently you also got things like hand sanitizer. I would keep an eye on that distillery. I imagine that the vodka is probably intended to be a precursor to keep the lights on while they are working on something nicer that is going to take longer. Um, but yeah, bad vodka. Boy, bad vodka's bad. I've got some vodka in the house right now. I've got some Crystal Skull. Uh, that's a oh shoot, what's his name? I'm blanking. One of the Ghostbusters. Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd's vodka. It comes in a bottle shaped like a skull, and it's kind of expensive. Um, my hands are all shrimpy. I'll go get the bottle because you've got to see this bottle. Oop, they didn't devein that one. It still got his little poop shoot in him. You got to see this bottle. A bee sting. I'm not sure. I don't know what's in a bee sting. I'm not much for I'm not. I like cocktails. I don't know much about cocktails. So, uh, what's in a bee sting? I'm curious now because I've got a nice vodka. I could maybe make one if I've got the other ingredients. I do have a lot of random ingredients just on hand. Uh, honey, lemon juice, and gin or vodka. I've got, well, my honey's old and kind of crystallized. Um, so I've got honey that's old and kind of crystallized. I've got lemon juice. I've actually got a lemon. It's a, it's right here. It's waiting in the wings. Okay. Dump the shrimpy water out. Save your shrimp shells. They go in the freezer. My shrimp shells always go in the freezer. And then when my freezer bag is full, I turn them into shrimp stock. Um, we did that recently, so my freezer, my stock is low, and I'm not eating nearly as many shrimp these days because the prices have become untenable. So here's the idea: is we take a skewer and we run it through a shrimp, and then a mango, and then a shrimp. That mango has broken half immediately. The mango broke in half immediately. Oh, mix some warm water, clear up and use it. I will have to give that a go because I would hate to throw out the. It's actually honey from a year ago. It's last summer's honey. I've still got some, and it's gone all crystally. I haven't picked up a new one this summer because I've still got the old one from last summer that's gone all kind of crystally on me. I didn't want to waste honey if I'm not going to get through it. Yeah, the mango lacks the structural integrity I was hoping for. Yeah, see, it broke. It broke right away again. Just gonna eat that piece. Okay. So you just gotta cut them a little bit thicker so that they have a little bit more substance to them. Shouldn't have done that one diagonal. I did that one diagonal because I thought it might hold better if it had more length. And I think it just messed up my skewer structure more than anything. Chemical! Welcome back. What's your choice? Skewers. Oh! Oh! I barely even noticed. New name for chemical. It's the red letter day. Well, if you're happy with it, I'm happy with it. Yeah, I didn't even notice, which is perfect because that means others will also probably just automatically greet you. Well, congratulations. It's a good name, a strong name. Well, I imagine any single word that's just a word is taken. That's just the nature of someone has out there has plugged in every possible ordinary word and claimed it already, as well as every like normal person name. Okay, three skewers. This one's a little bit weird, because the mangoes were falling apart. I need a big clipper because I need to take the last at least inch off of each of these skewers. So that's going to require me to wash the sticky mango juice off my hand. I've got extra mango, which is fun. Um, butter clipper. Okay, okay. These are bamboo skewers, so they are pretty durable, but not quite as durable as if they were full on wood. And I can get through them just with a scissors. Oh, maybe. Or I can get through that one with a knife. That I got started with the scissors. No. Oh, oh, okay. Okay, we got that one. We got it. We got there. And ugh, ideally, get skewers that are the right size for what you need them for, and not do what I have done, get skewers that are the wrong size, and be forced to cut them down. I've been looking for skewers. These skewers are the wrong size for a lot of things I want to do with them. I've been looking for other skewers, and I can't find them. They don't make them in the size that I want. Okay, those guys are skewered. We're going to plunk some butter in a pan. While that butter is melting, we are going to crush up some garlic. This whole thing is going to move over to the staging table so I can free up room over here. We'll just use the color correcting sheet since it's already ready to go. Garlic. Nobody doesn't love excessive garlic. Garlic. We've got our silicone garlic peeling tube. I haven't used it for a while because the garlics I was getting, the skins were just coming off on their own. But this head of garlic, first of all, has these nice, lovely purple skins. But the skins are also very, very tight, so they don't want to let go. So the garlic tube has once again been called into service. If you don't have one of these, I don't know where to get them. That one was a gift. And it's just a silicone tube. You put a clove of garlic in there and roll. And the skin just kind of falls off. Elephant garlic. I've tried elephant garlic, and then I went and read about it. It's technically not garlic, and it's technically not an onion. It's a related plant, the same way that a leek isn't an onion. Elephant garlic is actually a related plant, not just giant garlic. What makes it interesting is that it's got the flavor chemicals of garlic in it, just not quite as concentrated as small garlic, but it also has flavor chemicals from onion in it, but not a ton of them. So you get a little bit of both from it. I used it when I had it. I don't buy it frequently because it's a touch pricey. Oh, damn it. We lost some garlic on the floor. I guess I have to get another clove out. I can hear my butter back there. Nope, that one didn't. There it goes. And as usual, I actually had been using the garlic crusher with the lever handle, and I have gone back to the microplane. I just prefer it. I think it gives a nicer paste. If you want little recognizable bits, the crusher can give you those. But if you want just a pasted garlic, that's not the one, this one. Okay. Starting by frying off my garlic. Let's get us over to the stove, because things are happening over here. We're constructing a garlic butter right here in the pan. Turn that down a little bit. We're going to construct a lot of stuff right over here on the stove top, because we've got these guys. They're still here. They're over here now, and I'm going to season them right there on the board. It smells like garlic and butter, if you can believe it. This is a Cajun spice blend of paprika, salt, celery, sugar, garlic, so more garlic, black pepper, onion, oregano, cayenne pepper, caraway seed, dill, turmeric, cumin, basil, bay leaf, mace, cardamom, marjoram, rosemary, and thyme. So everything, all of them, every spice. We got this from the ever delicious Penzeys Spices. Uh, you start listing off ingredients, and it seems like you're never going to end, but you also recognize every single spice that you've said. It's also a little bit gummed up in there because it was overfilled. Perfect. So I've got a lot of these spices just normal over in my spice rack, but we're going to use all of them. So, oop, I lost track of my garlic a little bit. It's bits of it have gone crispy. Okay, it's fine. 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 These guys are going right in that pan, as is. Oop, touch the side. Don't touch the side of the pan. Also, don't touch the middle of the pan. Where are my tongs? You there, you there, so that you can lay down. Okay. The mango should also, because the mango pieces are kind of a little bit thick, I expect them to hold the shrimp up a little bit. So the shrimp will cook a little bit more slowly, in theory. That was some salt. Yeah, I think I caught it just in time. The garlic was gonna go. I know we've got this board and we've got these pieces of mango. I'm just gonna snack on. Ooh, with some Cajun spice on them. Mm, that's good. I'm worried that specific shrimp right there is not going to cook because it's kind of floating off the top, because that piece of mango that's next to it is quite tall. But I guess we'll find out. I'm going to, while we find out, I've got the big mushroom is still sitting here just off the side of the camera. I'm going to put it away real quick to A, get it out of the way, and to B, preserve it. Where are my paper towels? Where did they go? I don't know where I took my paper towels. Somewhere. Well, that's annoying. Where did I put the paper towels? Am I behind something? Yes, the traditional paper towel song. Let's see what these guys look like. Eh, they're they're working. They're not amazing. They're not. This I think would work better on a grill where there's a lot of heat coming up from the fire in between. I don't have a grill for that. I know I didn't use them up, or did I? Did I? No. Did I? Eh. Well, I've got a fresh roll. They weren't on my last roll, but I didn't use them up. There should be some here somewhere. But to keep the mushroom happy, I'm going to take a paper towel, put the rest up there. That's where I thought they were supposed to be. Take a paper towel, get it a little bit wet, wring it out so it's just damp. And put it in the bag with the mushroom. So that the mushroom does not dry out. Because it's in a paper bag. And the paper bag is so that it does not, it's actually in this Christmas bag, but it's a paper bag because a plastic bag is too airtight, but a paper bag is too drying. I don't have a clip for this. Rubber band. And that can go back in our fridge where I got it from. And it can travel with me when I do my traveling. What do you think? These guys are looking pretty nifty. That one's a little underdone. That piece of mango. Oh, that piece of mango fell off. Okay, well. Oh, come on. That's the same side. There you go. We should get our plating ready as well, because those are going to come off, get plated. While they're finishing up, I'm going to do a bit of tidying because I do have one more project yet. This last one should be very quick. It's the dessert item that we started at the beginning. Let's see, that, which hopefully has gotten cold enough to set into an ice cream-like consistency in the fridge. And it's going to be served with bananas. But we need some tidying because there's a lot of stuff out right now. And I just want to cook these until they look. The shrimps have to be done. You can't. We're not gonna mess around with undercooked shrimps today. One of them fell off. Ooh, we're getting some nice caramelization on the edges of the mango in places. That's a good sign. I didn't leave myself enough skewer to hold on to. Oh, and that one's falling off as well. They've fallen off a little bit, but that's fine. It's fine. Put this away since it's in the way. The leftover mango is going to be snacking mango, I guess, because it's not part of my dessert plans. I think the shrimps are done, and that's the key. And you don't want to overcook shrimp either. It goes gross and rubbery if you leave it on there too long. So keep setting those tongs down. There they are. Let's get these guys off of here. Oh, didn't leave myself enough skewer to hold on to. Little bit of fried mango chunks that fell off. They just kind of get included in the skewer. And I'm not wasting this garlic butter. Rinse off one of these spatulas. You can see the garlic has gone very crispy. I'm using my crispy garlics. Mash them up a little bit. They are going to just be sprinkled over the top of those. Okay. There's that. There's that. Scooper. Lid off the risotto. Ooh, it's very solid. I mean, good solid, not like cement solid. Big scoop of that stuff. Oh, here we go. Yeah. There's the main plate. Could use something green. Oh, I know. Hold on. It's not quite done. Keep oohing and eyeing at it. I'm going to pop outside for a sec. Because outside, I have fresh chives in my garden. We're back. We've jumped outside. That's a thing that I think I won't be able to do. I'm still haven't acquired the new sound system yet. I don't think you'll be able to hear me from out there when the new sound system gets hooked up, based on the descriptions of it. But chives, garden fresh chives. Right on top of the risotto. Yes, exactly, on the risotto. I think it's actually a traditional ingredient slash garnish for risotto. Not on the, well, tell you what, I'll take the same chives, but cut them long. Take that yellow one out of there. The same chives, but long, can be these sort of long threads on this side. That way I'm not wasting the ends of these chives, but it doesn't just look like I dumped chives all over the entire plate. They have a distinction to them. There we are. Quick grind of pepper on the top of that guy, and a quick sprinkle of sesame seed on the top of that guy. Now you want to know how this tastes. Before we dive into the next thing, so we will, in fact, do that. Not this fork. Before I bite into it, it needs a photo. I gotta remember. Always gotta remind myself not to just dive in on these things that I make. The risotto came out great. It's standing up, which is something that I struggle with sometimes, where my risottos are too porridgey. This one is able to hold itself up. On the plate. Okay. That should be enough photos of that guy. Coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back. You, of course, want to know how this tastes. And then once I've tasted it, I'm going to put a lid on the whole thing, make my bananas. Okay. I'm glad I left the risotto to rest a bit before diving in on it. The truffle flavor definitely mellowed out and merged into the rest of it much better. after having given it a chance to rest. It's just a very subtle compliment to it now, which is what I wanted from the beginning. So that was a good idea. The prominent flavors we've got coming out of it are our two main mushrooms. Shiitake hits you first. Oyster comes in as sort of a milder second note. Otherwise, it's just sort of this rich, creamy texture, but it just tastes like mushrooms and rice. And these guys, we're going to take one of the shrimps off the skewer fully, and one of these loose chunks of mango. Oop. Loose chunk of mango. Mmm. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. It's sweet and savory. The shrimp, actually, I think it's pieces of the garlic that stuck to the edges of the shrimp. Because there's these little crispy edges on the rim of the shrimps. Oh, that's very nice. I think they need a little bit more spice. So I'm going to dust them with some fresh chipotle pepper, or some uncooked chipotle pepper, to give them a little bit more zing. I think that the Penzeys spice blend is tasty, but it doesn't have that peppery bite to it. All in all, very pleased. But wait, we're not done. I want 3 tablespoons of butter. I want 2 tablespoons of butter. Ooh, the butter's very soft. Paper off of there. I'm going to put a lid on this guy. We're going to move on to the final phase, which should be real quick, hopefully. And I'm going to give that ice cream as much chance as it can to solidify before I pull it out of there. So, since I don't want the dinner here to cool off while I'm working on something else, the trick is, why is this so shiny reflective? Stop that. Stop that. What the heck? My light balance is all. Oh, it's because of this big brown. There you go. It's because there was a big brown circle. If you've made your dinner and it's going to get cold while you do something else, get a big steel bowl, which makes my camera really freak out, and put it upside down over the top of it to keep it warm. While our butter is melting, this banana volunteered itself. So I guess we're going with that one. These bananas are mega ripe, like almost mush ripe. So soft. Taking the little nubbin off. Normally I would just pinch that off, but it's so soft I couldn't even get a grip on it. It just mushed. And then we're cutting this guy in half. This is my favorite ripeness of banana. I got these bananas from Quick Trip. They were 2 pounds of bananas for $1 because they were starting to develop little brown spots. Like they were just starting to develop the little brown spots. They were nowhere near the stage they are now. And they were just like Nobody wants to buy them. Get rid of them. They're old. I'm like, those bananas are perfect. They were the perfect bananas. The ones they were selling at full price looked really underripe to me. So I was happy to get them. And this is the tail end of it. So they're even riper now than they were because they've been sitting here. Don't want those chive pieces on my banana. Should have cleaned the chive scraps off before I jumped in on that. Back to the stove. We have a fresh pan with some butter in it. To which I'm adding sugar. An unmeasured amount. Get that all around, nice and foamy. And again, this is an experimental thing. I don't know if this is going to do what I want it to do, but we're going to take a banana and we're going to plop it in there, and we're going to pick those two chives off the back. I don't want chives in my dessert. And we're going to take the other banana and put it in there as well and pick that chive off the back. And hopefully this becomes a delicious caramelized banana. That's the hope. I've never done this before, and I'm not following a recipe. I'm just totally winging it, completely out of the blue. The risotto, I've made risotto before, so I knew where I was doing with that. Shrimp and mango, that was pretty basic. I've never made that specific thing before, but I've made shrimp and I've made fruit. Um, this thing, Lord knows. I've heard of dishes like this with caramelized sugar and fruit and even specifically bananas, but I've never made them. I've never looked up any recipes. Gonna baste them with the sugary butter a little bit. Also, these bananas are super, super ripe, and I feel like this would actually work better with bananas that are a little bit less ripe because they'd have more structure. These might just disintegrate on me. These might just disintegrate on me. Um, I've heard of bananas Foster. I've never had bananas Foster, so I don't know if this is what bananas Foster is or not. I know there's alcohol in bananas Foster, and you light it on fire at some point. Should not have licked that spoon. Pro tip: don't lick the spoon. I can't imagine they'll taste bad. It's butter and sugar and bananas. Um, and this is a non-stick pan, so cinnamon and rum. I don't have any rum, and I have cinnamon, But oh, okay. We have a confirmation of cinnamon and rum. Well, I don't think I'm making bananas Foster. Uh, in part because I'm serving it with ice cream. Oop! I barely touched the side of that banana and it shredded a little bit. Um, so I think they might have to get broken in half in order to get picked up by a spatula because they seem like they're too soft to lift. Let's poke it, see what happens. I would like the bottom to be brown. They're not there yet. So this is going a little bit slower than I thought it was going to. Brown sugar. Well, we could always throw some molasses in there. Ooh. Nah, too late. I've already got sugar in there. I forgot about this stuff. The golden syrup from the cookie recipe. That would have been a good addition to the sugars. It probably would have made an evener melt as well because it's already a liquid sugar. Because it has this wonderful flavor to it as well. Um, I don't want to add it now. I feel like adding it now would just be me throwing things at something that is already working. So I'm not going to add it now, but I need to remember that I have that stuff. Uh, Golden syrup. If you haven't tried it, if you're one of millions of Americans who have no idea what the heck it is, it's it's this stuff. It has one ingredient, cane sugar, and I read about it. And what this is it's when you refine sugarcane sap after just one pass. This is what you got. Molasses is what you get after a couple more passes. Um, I got it at Woodman's, a local grocery store that has a lot of odd stuff. It was in the international foods aisle. Um, I've heard of this stuff, and if you talk to British friends, I'm sure they would be like, "Of course, golden syrup. We've got some right here," because this is a British thing. It was in the British section of the international foods. It's even got a little tiny British flag on it. Um, but yeah, it's got this really lovely flavor. Uh, Almost butterscotchy. Uh, Speaking of butter and flavor, the sugar and butter around the outside of my bananas has started to turn stringy and brown. Oh, and that banana is flopping. Uh, let's attempt to get under one of them and see if they're browned on the bottom. They are. Okay. Uh, that spatula. Heat off. I'm not sure what all I would use it for. I would have used it in this if I had thought of it, but it's such a new thing to me that I didn't think of it. Um, Moment of truth on this guy. He hasn't been in there the full time. He's firm. Oop, wrong button. This thing. Now it's firm. I can tap on it. Soft in a few places still. The real test is going to be the texture. I'm afraid this might go icy, which the regular stuff doesn't do because of the sweetened condensed milk. But this is a different thing. We're going to use one of our higher rimmed bowls for it. And wait, where are you? Good old fashioned ice cream scoop. See if I can get. Ooh, okay, the texture's kind of weird on it. It's crumbly. It's a bit crumbly, which suggests that it's a bit icy. So this experiment with the coconut milk in the place of the sweetened condensed milk might not have worked. Tastes good. Let's give it a little taster with texture. Okay, yeah. It's icy. It's got noticeable crystallization, even after having not even been there the full time. Yeah, coconut cream probably would work better. I did add sugar to the coconut milk to try to bring it closer in line with the sweetened condensed milk. The coconut milk was an ingredient I needed to use up today. So that was why I was using it specifically. I probably would not have chosen it if I was planning on making this. Uh, it's not the worst, but it definitely is kind of icy. And I think if I left it in there the full time, it would be very icy. Oh, these bananas are mush. Ooh, and the stuff is the butter and sugar is formed these very sticky strings that I'm going to put on top of the ice cream part. We'll just use that spoon for this. These bananas may have been too soft for this. That one is just actually totally disintegrated. Am I on the wrong angle? I'm on the wrong angle for this. Over here. There's the thing. It's coming together in the middle. We'll get a better angle on it when I get it back over there, but Well, I've always said the thing that scares me the most in the kitchen is candy making, sugar work. Um, so this no recipe sugar disaster should have seen this coming. They're softer than the ice cream, for sure. Of the two things on this plate, the ice cream is the solid thing. Um, it doesn't look amazing. I will admit that. Let's see if I can make it look a little bit nicer, but I have to take photos real quick because it's going to melt on me if I don't go pretty snappy here. That's cocoa powder, just a little bit of cocoa powder. Since this is sweet and sweet and sweet, a little bit of bitter cocoa powder should be a good addition. Rinse it off my fingers before I touch the second thing, which I think is the more traditional topping for this. Traditional topping for this thing that I never made and didn't follow recipe for. Powdered sugar, which I'm going to use a spoon for rather than digging my disgusting fingers into the thing. Oh, my powdered sugar should have been sifted, but oh well. Real fast photos of this before it completely melts. It's not very pretty. This one I don't think is very pretty, but it's melting fast. Getting less pretty as it does. Ooh. It's okay through the camera. The lumpy powdered sugar doesn't look amazing. Okay, bunch of photos of that guy. We'll come back. We'll give this a taste, and then we're going to wrap up because this has been a long show. That was the point. The point. Have a nice long show for our celebration today. But let me give this a taste and tell you not to make this the way I made it. Mm. There's a crunch to it. Okay, the flavor is good. It's a nightmare of textures. If you don't like texture, if you've got any qualms about weird textures in food, you would hate this stuff. Um, the banana is absolute mush. Like, I can't believe it's holding together as much as it is on that plate. It's like a paste. The ice cream is melting quickly, so parts of it are liquid, but parts of it still have like icy crystals in it. So that's not great. It also makes it kind of hard to scoop because you got to break through those crystals. Here's the third and unexpected one. That caramelized threads that were forming, they've cooled off where they are in contact with the ice cream and become hard. Like hard candy hard. But then they soften back into caramel in your mouth and stick to your teeth. So I got the flavors right. The cocoa powder actually adds a nice little bitter element because this is sweet on sweet on sweet. Um, I got the flavors right. The technique here was not good. The technique here was a disaster. I'm gonna eat this, but I'm gonna brush my teeth right away afterwards because it's gonna be all stuck up in there. Um, the lesson we've learned from this is don't do that. Follow a recipe when you're making a dessert item like this because it can go wrong, especially sugar. Sugar work is the thing that I'm the least confident with overall. So I'm not entirely surprised. Um, anyways, we are coming up to the end now. This is the we're wrapping up. I've gone longer than I normally do. We're pushing towards 3 hours. We're not going to make it there, but um, gosh, and we had such an exciting first day. We managed to put together a hype train on my very first stream as affiliate, which is just mind-boggling to me. Thank you guys so much. We could not have gotten to this stage without the support of viewers like you. Now that I'm back in the groove after that grueling last week, I am going to buckle down and have to finish out making those emotes, set up my bots so there can be nice, fun alerts and things. Because ideally I would have had that set up for this, but things intervened, life intervened. Yeah. So as always, thanks for showing up. My next stream is going to be, we're going to try to do it. It's going to be remote from another kitchen because I'm leaving town tomorrow and I won't be back in time for the next stream. So watch for that. We might have an all new kitchen. We might have terrible angles because I'm not able to set stuff up. Not that my angles in this kitchen are any good, anyways. So we might have just as terrible angles as we have now, but in a new place. That'll be exciting. So yeah, good stuff. A lot of excitement. We're gonna go raid somebody with this. Keep the excitement going. Who is on right now? There's a whole bunch of people on right now. I'm as usual. I'm open to suggestions. If any of you have a specific place you think I should spread the love to. Otherwise, on my list here, we've got Twiggy playing Doom. I believe it's the It's not the original Doom. It's the newer one, 2015. Kristen is playing The Quarry. Lots of people have been playing The Quarry lately. Jen the Human is playing The Talos Principle. That's a puzzle game. BBB is playing Fall Guys. Let's go say hi to Jen. I'd appreciate it if you'd stick with me just for the raid, even if you have to leave right after. Come along and say hi to Jen. I don't have. I still haven't put together a raid message of my own. So, and I'm not good at coming up with one off the cuff. Let's craft one in the few seconds we've got here. If I go like that, and I go like that, and I just go boop, 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 copy paste that. Nope, I lost the J's. Don't copy paste that. Uh, Boy, the little tiny chat window on the side there. I don't know. I don't have a chat. I don't have a raid message. I'll see you next time. 3, 2, 1, raid.